Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's actually time to start. Good to see so many here. We are actually more people at the teachers meetup than usually, and I'm delighted to see so many students and teachers here. I would like to start with saying that you are all warmly welcome, and it's the interaction between people in this room that makes the meetup such an important part of KTH education's development, and also the reason why we really believe that this is a mechanism for both securing and improving quality in KTH education. It stands for a very high commitment to teaching, and it clearly, just look around, it clearly illustrates the high ambition we see among KTH teachers. And I also know that there are quite many students here. They are ambitious to have a good education, but also take part in developing our education, which makes it an extra important contribution. We have chosen a theme for today's meetup, Teaching for the Future with today's resources and challenges. And it might discover a bit of the actual situation that we have today at KTH, that we see that our resources are not increasing, they are perhaps even decreasing. They are not increasing like the way we would like them to do in relation to the challenges or the ambitions that we have. But today I think that the most important thing that we can do with the resources in this room is the interaction that I talked about and the exchange that we can have of experiences and the way that we can together join forces and use our competences as the most important resources in taking a next step in meeting the challenges that we have. And those challenges relate to the situation in the world, of course, the challenges that we have in relation to sustainability and to insecurities on the global arena, but also in the more small matters, the resources that we have in everyday's teaching. In the Faculty Council, we work with a number of different education issues. One of them that we put quite much emphasis on now, together with the Education Board, the Education Committee, Grundutbildningsutskottet, is to review the education offering that we have. And the reason to this is actually to make sure that we have the right education offer in relation to the resources that we have. We also work with broadened recruitment and broadened participation in our educations. And that is, of course, to make sure that we have the best students that we can have. And the best students are the ones with high grades, but also the ones that have an ambition to make an impact in society and complete their education at KTH. We're also putting some efforts in assessing the doctoral programs that we have as an educational structure on the PhD level at KTH. This is also relating to resources. What kind of structure should we have to make best use of those kind of resources? And we also look into the integration of sustainability issues, including equality issues in all our programs. This is one of the important quality aspects that we have in our education programs. And we keep going on with these issues to make sure that the people that leave KTH for a professional life in another organization will have a capability to have an impact on sustainability and equality improvements. Security. Please read the slide. We have security exits up in the back of the room and both sides here. As you know, Storträffen Meetup is an arena for education development, but we would also like to mention the Lunch and Learn, where teachers share knowledge and experiences, and the PRIO groups that we have, where people are gathered around specific themes and make joint impacts on taking one issue regarding the education forward. And I'm sure that you can meet a number of PRIO leaders in this activity today. Several of them are the ones that are keeping the discussions in the parallel sessions afterwards this introduction. We also, in parallel to the Storträff Meetup, have the KTH Sottel today, which is more of an in-depth presentation and communication and discussion about scientific studies regarding pedagogy and teaching and education. And Björn will say a few more words about this towards the end of the introduction. We have had the meetup since 2016. It's twice every year. It links teachers, students, and operational support, which is a very good combination of people at KTH, of course. And here we believe that current and long-term questions can be raised, discussed, acted upon, and anchored in the whole organization. And we also see this as part of the quality system today. This is the people in the meetup. You can see here from which parts of KTH the participants are coming. And today we are about 260 people that have been assigned to the meetup. I think the students are perhaps, could you raise your hands, students? Yeah, there are quite many, as you see. Very good. Thanks for taking your time to join in our development of education. And this is how it looks when it comes to how many that are returning to the meetup. As you can see, there are always, I would say that this picture looks the same from time to time. There are always a number of people joining for the first time, but then the majority is coming every time, I believe. Before I go on now and say a few more words about the perspective that I want you to have in mind when we later meet on and have the discussions, I would like to mention the two important people, Viggo Kann and Elisabeth Keller, who has organized the meetup. And I think, aren't they worth an applaud already now? So before I leave the word to Anders, I would like to say that let's help each other make up the meetup work. If you have troubles in finding your room, ask someone. If you don't know where to go, ask for an advice. You have a schedule. Viggo will come back to this, but it's also on paper, a good traditional way for communicating. Be friendly and inclusive in the discussion, and bring along those who are perhaps silent from the beginning. Take turns in how much time you speak and make sure to be inclusive and make use of all the people in the room. Perhaps this is, I don't know if it's even needed to say that, but I say it anyway. A special welcome to the students and students' representatives also in the discussions, of course. So, Anders, please.
Working? No? Yes? Okay. So once again, welcome to the Storträffen Meetup and the 6th Scholarship of Teaching and Learning Conference. I think my job here, my assignment today is to emphasize the importance of having these kind of meetings. Having events that focus on education, learning methods, joint discussion, aiming at sharing experiences, and in the long run, of course, support the quality enhancement culture that we would like to have as a context for our education. Teaching and education is roughly 1/3 of what we do at KTH. And thus it's a risk of education being overshadowed by the many major research efforts that our faculty members are doing, by the burden of constantly seeking external grants and publishing with international partners. But on the other hand, our strong research base is a wonderful foundation also for excellent education and for excellent teaching. And not only in terms of us being knowledgeable, knowing what is the latest frontiers of knowledge that should be conveyed to the students, but also because we can do research in terms of how we educate, and we can use our research base to be better teachers and to have an impact on the way we teach. I think I can see from the joint organization of the meetup and the scholars, the SOTL, that we do both. We improve teaching, but we also research in how to be better. AI and various aspects of challenge-driven education, examination, and many other topics are on the agenda today. And I see that there are also research that are underpinning those statements that are in the papers. These are wonderful foundations also for the development of teaching future-wise. Having the Future of Education program is an asset for us. Through that program, we have been able to pinpoint a number of things that we could do together in order to improve teaching, in order to have better access to our different environments, and jointly sharing knowledge also through the Framtidens utbildning. And parallel to that, we are also working on finding ways of defining the educational portfolio on the long-term side, as Sofia was mentioning. And there is a work going on this year in order to come to some more conclusions on what kind of portfolio we should have future-wise, both in terms of quotas between different offerings, between the bachelor level and the master's level, and between different types of engineering programs. I hope we will also be able to make some firmer statements in terms of how we would like to approach the lifelong learning challenge, what kind of efforts we should do in order to be better or more reachable in terms of offering lifelong learning. And that includes, of course, also commissioned learning for the needs in the industry. So a number of things are going on sort of the joint level in terms of Framtidens utbildning and the portfolio in the long-term run. But these activities are so much dependent on what we are doing here, or what you are doing here today, in terms of sharing experiences and presenting the knowledge about how we produce knowledge. So I hope you all will have a great afternoon, in both these two capacities, in Storträffen and the SOTL, and that this will take our position further from being excellent to be even more excellent. So, thank you.
Okay, so next on the agenda is to turn on the... Now, I think that I also have a sound. So, we have a pedagogical prize at KTH. You nominate teachers, and we have a committee that scrutinize these nominations very carefully, and then we decide to give the prize to 2 teachers every year. And one of them will be giving a presentation on December the 1st, when we have the next Storträff. And one of them is here today to give a speech regarding his teaching. And this is Rodrigo Mure. Congratulations and welcome.
Okay. Hi. Hello. So thank you for the introduction, and I'm very pleased to be here. Really excited to be presenting some of my experience to you, to all the people present here. A little bit of a background of myself. Rodrigo Muro is my name, as been said before. I'm an architect, trained architect and lighting designer. And currently, I'm working here at KTH as a teacher in KTH ABE, in the architecture school and in the division of architecture, lighting design. I've been working here since 2011 as a lecturer. Later on, I'll have been doing work as a capacity of a program director since 2020. And a little bit more recently, have been doing research and started a PhD in 23. And as been said before, last year I got the Pedagogical Prize 2024. I has been approached by Elizabeth to have this presentation to you. You know the topics, teaching for the future with today's resources and challenges, from the Storträffen topic and from the subtle taking learning seriously. So I've been debating a little bit about what should I be talking about, and I think considering that I'm surrounded by teachers, I would like to actually focus on that, on teaching, on my teaching experience, and probably one of the very important resources, which is the human, the people, the teachers, as well as the students. For me, those are the most important resources, and the challenges are also that, how we teach and how students learn. That's a big challenge. And of course, taking learning seriously, but why not? As you can see in the picture, also having a little bit fun while doing that. That's one of the lighting installations done by our students in the Master of Architecture Lighting Design back in 2016, which is a one-to-one scale temporary installation, which was particularly interesting, this one, because as a matter of fact, there was a planning to do an actual lighting installation, permanent one by a professional, which has actually the same idea that our students had. So it felt pretty good to be able to show the students that their ideas are not crazy or they're not just playful, they're actually something that can become for real lighting installation. Then and now, this is my transformation since I've been here at KTH. I'm actually an alumni from KTH. I studied here in 2006, the same master I'm teaching at, Architecture, Lighting Design. Back then was at STH in Handen, and it was a pretty interesting journey. And my master thesis topic was reflecting on light. So I look into theory of light and lighting. And interesting enough, one of my conclusions was that teaching was a very important element when developing a theory, and regardless if it's light or lighting, if it's design or it's more physical properties of light. Later on, I had the opportunity to be invited by my today colleague and former professor to teach in this education. So I came back in 2011, and I'll be teaching, as I said before, in Architecture Lighting Design Master Program. So this is a transformation I took, and I've been developing myself. So the title of my presentation is Learning by Teaching, a Teacher Transformation, and I hope I can communicate something interesting, for you. Back in the day, or still, we actually doing quite a similar approach to education, where students do their project, do their work, and they present to the teachers. They explain the work, they explain the process, the motivation, what are they thinking, what is their particular approach, understanding the context, the problematic, and yeah, the motivation of what they're doing, and of course, not forgetting about the lighting principles that they're using. I'm there together with a colleague on the left side, Federico, who's here. Very happy that you join us, and a guest teacher and the two students at the left side, which I have the nice opportunity to call them today after so many years close friends. But the point of this is that for me, teaching constitutes a life experience. It's not only that educators impart knowledge, but or guidance. It's also that we undergo a transformation through this teaching, and it's kind of a reciprocal back and forth commitment with students and teachers. So the act of teaching is not unidirectional. We also learn a lot from what the students do, what they elaborate, their thinking, the processes. So it expands in both perspectives. So the lived experience of teaching and the teacher, how we encounter teaching is interesting because I have learned so much from teaching. The knowledge that I have today, in comparison when I start teaching, it has increased exponentially because every time I have to prepare a lecture to meet the students, I have to do a little bit of a research, and then the topic itself, the lighting design, has evolved so much. So updating ourselves as teachers is quite important, and this engagement offers the students kind of an updated knowledge, so they can it's as I said before, it works both ways. So it's communication, it's collaboration, and it also makes you think quite a lot while being in front of the students. So from guidance to freedom is what I would like to think about. What is the path that the students take? How this guidance that we provide to the students allows them to take some sort of responsibility about the decisions, about the way they think, about the solutions they take. So they at the end up having independent thinking, some freedom in their processes of learning. So transformation, I think, is a key here. I'm really surprised to see how the students arrive and how they leave the classroom at the end of the academic year. So that definitely it's not only transformation for ourselves, but for them as well. And I got one of the best advices I got by one of my teachers when I was studying architecture in Mexico, when I come from, is that the goal is to have enough understanding to develop informed criteria. Not really to can dominate the whole topic, but have enough understanding of that to be able to take decisions. And that's coming from a teacher who was teaching the calculation of timber, concrete, and steel structural calculations. So the aim was not to become an engineer, but and be able to know all of that, but to have informed criteria. And for me, that's what critical thinking is based on, getting that knowledge. Throughout the process of the education, the assessment and all the projects that the students undergo, well, it is based on a learning approach where analysis and further reflection is pushed. Also, we push the students to do their own investigations, and which of course also promotes critical thinking. So the lectures that we provide to the students have multiple viewpoints, not only from our side as the teachers, but also from people in the industry, different lighting designers or architects that have a particular perspective, from municipalities, from researchers, from other teachers, so different background, different nationalities. So I think that a multi-perspective is necessary. So we don't kind of pull the students only in one direction. The seminars, we push for the students to have questions that they discuss with us in an open classroom. The study visits and the exercises or specific tasks are real projects, real solutions, real scenarios, so they learn from actually, something that they can, after their studies, rely on and understand this is real. And the workshops are hands-on and also push for discussions. So one-to-one scale as much as possible, and creating with their own hands and experiencing, in this case, lighting. Peer review and self-assessment is also one of the tools that we use. So they have the chance to sit down, reflect, investigate, and see how much they learn. So probably not in all of the educations it's possible to have this approach, because we actually do not have exams. This is project-based and self-assessed and pushing for more investigations. So it's a reflective, individual, and personal tool for learning. The assessment that we provide to these future lighting designers. And this experimental and experiential approach, I think, is critical in our case. As we deal with space, we deal with environments. This is learned through experience. I'm very much into the phenomenological approach of architecture and lighting, so I think this really considers that, how they live the world, how they experience light. And as I said before, learning is bidirectional, so we, as teachers and students, we learn from each other. It's a constructive pedagogy, so both together construct knowledge, and that's also very evident when they undergo their master thesis. So actually, knowledge is produced through their research on 10 weeks, during 10 weeks, which is pretty short for be so advanced in terms of research, this master thesis. I think this is also very important to have the opportunity to study and revise our own teaching processes, so we don't stay behind, so we develop the courses accordingly to how the trends have, and not only trends, but the challenges that have been we have discussed before, move on. So you will have the chance to discuss later on in these group discussions all those challenges and the resources. So that's pretty crucial that we really take that opportunity today. And so I think it's also a nice reflection, because I don't have the chance to talk about this so often. I really focus on explaining lighting to the students. So talking about pedagogy is not something I do that often, which was a really nice exercise to have today, because teaching, I think, is a vehicle for the faculty to develop. As I said before, going back and revise and do more research and update ourselves is a good development. So it's a reflective practice. So therefore, I think learning through the act of teaching is something that we have the luxury to focus on. So thinking beyond reflection, I think moving a little bit beyond reflection into diffractive method of projecting, where we project our ideas, or the students project their ideas by bending, reshaping, and making more meaningful this guidance that we provide to them. And something that is crucial also here is that it's shared exploration. The students undergo different projects in teams, in groups, so that shared exploration is very important, so they discuss and share ideas. So moving from only a transmittive way of teaching, very important, the reflective. I think we move back and forth from reflective and diffractive, gives the role of the teachers and the role of the students switches a little bit back and forth. From the teacher's perspective, from being a facilitator of reflection and becoming also a mediator and an interpreter of those ideas, of those and that thinking the student has. The teaching philosophy that I would like to focus on is having intentionality, having reciprocity and interpretation. So orienting the attention and awareness of the important topics, those challenges that we have today, what is meaningful, how do we make the students engage, I think, to really present to them these challenges that we have for real. And the reciprocity, as I've said so many times, is making the teacher and the student constructors of this knowledge through dialogue and interaction. And the interpretation is the role of the teacher of being able to interpret and reinterpret the meaning and the ideas of the teaching, and be able to guide them through their narratives and through their being able to measure the learning outcomes of them. How do we support this? And I'm talking from our particular experience in this master course. The multicultural and diverse class is a key factor, open-ended questions and solutions, project-based assignments, face-to-face interactions, a lively and open campus. We base a lot of our practical experience here on campus and the hands-on experiences. Continuous development of the courses, as mentioned before, continuous development of the teachers, as has been said before as well, and collaboration between different departments or with the other schools will be also ideal. And informing teaching through research, as our president said before, that's also very important. So I think having teachers that are also involved in research will make them very much kind of have a kind of a fantastic update in the research, in the teaching. Since I started 2 years ago my PhD, I think I have grown exponentially as a teacher as well. So therefore, I really recommend to be involved in research for all the teachers. And I'm running out of time now, right? So I would like just to see or present to you very briefly. This is one of the projects that I have done as a PhD student. And I have kind of bridged over, tried to bridge over research and education, how one of my questions in my research kind of went into my education and this master course, and we together created something, answers to that main questions. And last but not least, I think a sense of belonging is also very important for a teacher. I really feel that I belong to KTH, to my division, to the lighting design division, where I feel part of this wonderful team. I also feel part actually of the projects that the students develop, and being involved in the discussions with multiple people, important people, for me. And also, as I think it's wonderful that this prize is given to 2 people and not only to 1, because it also shows the different perspectives that we can have looking through the past winners of this the pedagogical prize. It just shows that there's not only one way of teaching. There are multiple ways of tackling this challenge. And yeah, I just want you to be inspired by your students and work together as we did, develop together this fantastic installation in the center of Stockholm. And yeah, that will be all for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you very much for that kind of inspiration. We have some flowers for you as well.
Thank you very much.
And I sat down after having introduced Rodrigo and regretted that I didn't put up the name also of the other prize winner, the pedagogical prize winner, but then Rodrigo did. So this is some kind of co-creation, I think. So Carl Dahlberg also are one of the pedagogical prize winners this year. And next on the agenda is Anna Järbrand, who will say something regarding the future of education at KTH. Yes. Welcome.
So I will just briefly say something about future education. And I hope everyone has heard about the change program that KTH has. And if you haven't, we have a website. So I won't go into the details that are on these first slides. I'm just going to show them. I will go straight into the development work that we are doing. Here's just a brief part of it. We have started development projects each year. And if we cluster them, looking forward and using the thinking of what to do in the future with the resources we have today, these are things that are ongoing. Quite a lot of work with different co-workers around digitalization and how to improve our teaching and our programs and our courses based on that. Not as much on AI as we probably need to have based on what's happening around us, so we need to improve there, right? We will do that together. And quite a lot around wicked problems, another aspect that is hugely important for us. If you're interested in these different projects and want to know more about what they actually do, we have a poster session in Q31 today. We also have the web page, and we have a pod, Fika Snack, where we talk about different projects. Or you can find the person doing the work in the different projects, because it's not us doing everything, of course. Going in a little bit here on AI, doesn't really matter what we think about generative AI, it's part of our future, something we need to adapt to. Here we also put some of the names so that you can find the people working with these different aspects. But it is a variety, and I really appreciate that. We have AI and learning, we have AI and ethics, we have the PQBL, how to actually use AI in our work as teachers. And then also the major project up here is integrating AI into KTH educational offerings. Unfortunately, Arnold is at NTNU today, but he can talk quite a lot about it. So I'm running out of time. I have 30 seconds left. This is the last slide. We have, as I said, results presented in Q31. Come by and see it. And I didn't translate inriktningsbeslut, but we're working on that together with KTH. And one of the things that are also coming out of this, focused on what you talked about, Rodriguez, experimental learning and also doing more with our students. We have another, KTH has one Maxi Studio at ITM, we will have another at KTHB. There will come a survey on teaching culture, where KTH participates together with Ruth Graham's other research. You can become a principledare if you want to in future education. Just come find us, we'll tell you more. And our Fika Snack pod, Marcus Litander, so Marcus up there, he will walk around and do interviews and talk to you, all of you, of course, and get good ideas for our Fika pod. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. The survey that Ruth Graham has constructed and is actually constructed by a European team of teachers, it's already sent out. So everyone who is a teacher at KTH got an email last week, and I will send a reminder tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So then you will have a new chance. Next on the agenda is for Björn to say a few words about the SOTL, please.
Thank you, thank you. So you can all read, so I won't read that for you, but I'll do this in English then, since the slides is in Swedish. It's the 6th SOTL conference here at KTH, and you might think that it's a sign of us doing this with today's resources, that we combine it with the Storträffen meetup instead of having a standalone conference as is the usual thing. But we'd like to think about it as a happy marriage, where the need for education and going back to what we heard about how teaching can inform research and how research can inform teaching. And this overlaps, of course, in the scholarship of teaching and learning. So you have the program there, and I won't read it. It's not on the usual program, but there are signs all over the place where you can read about where things is happening. It's 3 sessions. The poster presentation was already this morning. What is new this year is that everyone who is presenting has also prepared a poster. So if you have not got a chance to go and listen to the presentation and talk there, you can always go and check the poster. And if you just Google KTH SOTL, you will come to our SOTL homepage at the intranet, and you can find all the abstracts there, except for this year's keynote speaker, Susanne Brink, whose abstract I don't think we have yet. That's all I prepared, but since I have more time, I will shamelessly say that you can also be part of supporting research. At least I saw one poster up here where the European University Alliance Unite, that KTH is part of, has research going on assessment methods. So if you're a teacher or teaching assistant, Please check out that poster and contribute to our research in education. Thank you.
And then finally, perhaps most important in the introduction theme, to set off the rest of the afternoon.
Yes, so this was only the start. Now there will be 3 rounds of discussions where you can participate in 12 parallel sessions. So in this program you can find all the sessions and the discussion topics. And the first round will start at 13:25, so we have 10 minutes to choose and to go to the right place. And then follows the second round after 10 minutes. So each round is 35 minutes long. And then we have a fika break between round 2 and 3. And then we have, after round 3, the summary session when we are back here in Q1. Okay, so there are discussions both in Swedish and English. So the yellow ones are in Swedish and the red ones in English. And you can see the room where the discussion takes place to the right. And in the pitch document, the separate pitch document, you can find the small abstracts for each discussion. And here are the rooms. So we have 4 rooms at each level. So the third level is up there, second level here, and we have the first level 1 floor down. And the fika will be served on level 2 and level 3. Okay, now we have 10 minutes to make your choice and go to the right place.
Nu funkar det. Jo.